Hello everybody, I'm Thrash Maniac HD, and this is your NXT review for November 6, 2013. And again, before I get started, I just want to say, overall, this episode was better than last week. I thought it was a good episode for different reasons, but and real quick, as always with the reviews, if you guys want to watch this week's episode of NXT, link is in the description box for you guys to check it out. But anyways, let's get to the review. So we start off the show with a strange way to open the show. Sylvester LaForte is talking to that blonde lady who's always been around for Alexander Rusev's matches. And Sylvester's like, "What are you doing? Rusev is my client!" And then she's like, "No, he's my client." And talking in Russian or whatever. Yeah, that was a weird way to open the show, which led into the first match of the show, which was Sylvester LaForte versus Alexander Rusev. This match only lasted like 20 seconds. Alexander Rusev killed Sylvester LaForte. So this was just an epic squash, but then that hot Russian blonde chick came out, introduced Alexander Rusev for the match, and then walked to the back with him. So this is interesting to see what Rusev's going to do with this hot chick by his side. But then we get a segment between Bayley and Charlotte Flair and Summer Rae Sasha Banks, where Charlotte's looking at Bayley's broken headband, but then Summer Rae and Sasha come out in the locker room or backstage and says, "Look, we're sorry we broke your headband, but we got you a new one, and it's a pink one." And they're trying to get Bayley to join their group because Summer Rae's saying, once Sasha comes to the main roster, she'll be just like me. Raw, SmackDown, countless pay-per-views, and international tours all over the place. And they're trying to get Bayley to come over, but Charlotte's like, "Nah, she's my friend." And basically saying, "No, she's my friend." And saying how you two think you guys run the show. Well, newsflash, you don't. So, I thought this was a really good segment to build up more heat for Summer Rae and Sasha Banks by trying to go after the sweet, innocent Bayley to try to get her to join their group. But, yeah. But now we get a match. We get El Local versus the returning Leo Kruger. And Leo Kruger's been out of action for well over a month since the whole, since the match he had with Antonio Cesaro on NXT a month ago, or well over a month ago. I'm not very sure, but Leo Kruger's back and back with a vengeance. He and El Local had an alright match, but Leo Kruger showed his dominance. So I thought this was a great way to bring him back and have him return by beating El Local. While the match was alright, it was a great step for Kruger. Then we get a exclusive segment from last week's episode with Paige and Emma, which 2 weeks ago it all started from an attack on Emma by Sasha Banks, and Paige comes out to try to help Emma, turns Sasha around, Sasha ducks, and Paige accidentally clotheslines Emma. Last week, sort of the same scenario. Emma was beating up on Sasha Banks. Paige tries to get Emma off her. Emma clotheslines Paige by accident because she thought it was Summer Rae, but it wasn't. And then we get a segment from afterwards where they're arguing of whether or not it was an accident. I thought this was a great segment to build up for a potential NXT Women's Title match between these two, because really, I've said before, I'll say it again, Emma is the rightful number one contender to the championship. Hell, she's been the number one contender really for 2, maybe 3 months, ever since Emma beat Summer Rae in that dance-off on that one episode 3 months ago, and Summer Rae attacked Emma to the point where Emma couldn't compete against Paige for the title, so Summer Rae took Emma's spot for a title shot. So really, Emma's in line for a title shot, but they're just making this big, and I actually thought this was a great segment to build up for that. Then we get a tag match between this jobber team of Troy McClain and Travis Tyler versus the NXT Tag Champions, the Ascension. Another epic squash match that was cool because the Ascension is just running roughshod through the tag team division ever since they beat Neville and Graves for the titles a month ago. So this was a great epic squash. But yeah. Then we get Mojo Rawley having a match, this time against a guy named Ty Dillinger. I thought this was another alright match to build up Mojo Rawley as an in-ring wrestler, and he's improved. Despite being mostly a football player, he's improving in the ring from what I've seen of him. But yeah, just another alright match. There you go. Then we get an announcement for next week for two big matches. First, Bayley and Charlotte Flair will face Summer Rae and Sasha Banks, which will be interesting to see what's going to happen with Bayley, if she's going to join up with Summer and Sasha or stay with Charlotte. Who knows? And the main event for next week, because they had a really good match a couple weeks ago, they're going to have a rematch, this time 2 out of 3 falls. Adrian Neville versus Corey Graves. I'm psyched for that match. That's going to be an awesome match to see. So yeah. But now we get to the main event, which was the match of the night. A really damn good match. Wyatt family member Luke Harper versus the one and the only Cassius Ohno. Only the second time I've seen Cassius Ohno wrestle in NXT since I've started watching. And they had a match against each other well over a month ago. But Luke Harper, it was just a domination match almost. Not this time. This match was a 15-minute, hard-fought battle. A really damn good match. Cassius Ohno showed to Luke Harper that he can face anybody of the Wyatts and prove that he can step toe-to-toe with them. So now with this whole thing with Luke Harper, I think may be done. Maybe Cassius will go after Eric Rowan and then Bray Wyatt. Who knows? We'll see how that's going to go down with Cassius Ohno. But Luke Harper ended up winning that match. And I forgot to mention Mojo Rawley won and the Ascension won. I forgot to mention those. Leo Kruger won his match too. I forgot to mention the winners. Stupid me. But yeah, overall this episode was a good episode. It was better than last week for different reasons. But once again, if you guys want to watch this week's episode, there will be a link in the description box. But anyways, peace.